The 2023 presidential election and the mouth-watering prospect of positive change, many are desperate to find a better life than the one they've been given so far by their political leaders. That is what is driving people in this election, to find a leader who can create a measurably better world for them, so that good governance will no longer be so elusive and the world so eerily dark and empty, the corridors of power rattling in the gloom of the old ways. So, if you want to be given the opportunity to ascend that ultimate plinth as president of Nigeria, then conform to the demands of the people. Open yourself to one-on-one media scrutiny and let the people see you sprinkle the seedlings of your potential greatness as a leader. That is what will give them hope that you could be that magnificent president, one who will build this nation's pillars deep, lift them to the sky, and etch your name in the hearts of the people forever. Anything else looks like self-doubt, and that, alas, is not a plus for a politician. Now to the rest of the program, and we begin with the civil war inside the main opposition People's Democratic Party, or PDP. Success often breeds success, they say, and failure often leads to meltdown. Since the PDP lost 2 presidential elections in succession, all hell appears to have broken loose. Beyond the recriminations, there have been accusations flying on all sides of smears and unofficial votes of no confidence in the party chairman, Yochie Ayu, and the presidential candidate, Atiku Abubakar. But now, beyond the Nyesom Wike group and the harm they've inflicted so far on the image of the party, the PDP is also being assailed from within by a new threat, a group calling itself the PDP for Peter OBI. They've launched a cutting attack on Atiku Abubakar's record, claiming that Peter OBI would make a better president for Nigeria and pledging their support to him. It's a move that's equivalent to lobbing a grenade into the PDP, pushing more divisions into the open and exposing splits across the ranks of the party. So how deeply has this knife plunged into the heart of the PDP? And can the party go on to thrive in the 2023 ballot despite this latest assault from within? Well, for more on this, I'm joined now in the studio by the coordinator of the PDP for Peter OBI Group, Obede Ifaluyi Isibo. Thank you very much indeed for coming in.
Thanks for having me again, Charles. I appreciate it.
The last time we spoke, you said you couldn't get yourself to vote for Atiku Abubakar, who is the presidential candidate of your party, the PDP. Just briefly remind us why.
Well, like I said the last time I came, and I appreciate the audience that was given to me to express my views as a member of the PDP and to give reasons why I think that though we hold the view that Alhaji Atiku Abubakar is a decent politician, one who has risen to the post of vice president in the nation, and who a lot of people love. And we went all out for him in 2019, campaigned for him, putting our resources and our time for him, because we felt that at the time we needed a good general to lead the army of the Nigerian people to deliver a more decent future for themselves. Unfortunately, he lost the election. At the time, we had a severe glitch in our economy. But in 2023, just now, what we have is a catastrophe. What we have is a disaster. Nigerians are frustrated. The nation is in despair. What we need now is the best general who can lead the army of the Nigerian people to a semblance of progress.
And Atiku is not that general in your assessment.
Atiku is not that general just now.
Well, let me be clear that essentially you are aiming to contribute to the loss of the presidency in 2023 by the party that you belong to, the PDP. And you say you have considerable support within the PDP, this movement that you've started, the PDP for Peter OBI support group.
Okay, this is it. I'm not contributing to the loss of the PDP, even as a member of the PDP.
Well, obviously
I'm contributing to the progress of Nigeria. And that is why we are focusing.
Yeah, but that you may interpret it as progress, but it is contributing to the loss in 2023.
No, if someone else interprets it as a loss, that is his own interpretation. I don't see it as a loss.
Yeah, but that's what it is.
My focus has ascended beyond partisanship. It has ascended beyond the nomenclature of a political party. It's bigger than this. The catastrophe we've found ourselves now transcends beyond politics. It's not about politics. If it was, I would easily align with the party's candidate, but it is beyond that. Like I said, we are merely trying to save our lives. We're trying to save our future.
Okay, help us assess the strength of this group that you coordinate. It's called the PDP for Peter OBI support group.
When I left the show that day, the first time I came, I had a lot of friends in the PDP reach out to me and say, well, you were bold enough to express our collective views on TV, and we appreciate that. And there are a lot of us in several units and several wards across the country. Let us come together under an umbrella and form like a microstructure for our preferred our preferred candidates. Now we have played major roles in the PDP at several elections. We understand the dynamics of the elections on election day. We understand how the game is played. Now let us align forces together. Let us pull in one direction for the sake of Peter OBI. So what we're going to be doing, we're going to be monitoring on behalf of the Labour Party the elections on that day at our various polling units. We're going to be contributing to logistics for the Labour Party on the election day on behalf of Peter OBI. And like I said, we generally have no issues with Alhaji Atiku Abubakar. I think he's a decent gentleman. But at the level we are right now, it requires more than a gentleman to save our lives.
So how's it going to work then? I mean, you're going to be, because I seem to remember you saying that you've got other candidates lower down the structure, sort of the strata that you support who are PDP candidates. So maybe you've got a flag on one hand that says, I support the governor of, the PDP governorship candidate or whatever, and then another flag saying, I support Peter OBI for president.
Well, we're not going to be holding flags.
Right.
What we're saying, we're speaking to the conscience of the people. We're telling them that, who do you have confidence in to save our country? Now, it is not voting a Labour Party from top to bottom or PDP from top to bottom. Who are the individuals whose character you have interrogated that you feel that, given the trust of the people, this man can deploy our resources for the benefit of the majority of the people? Not basically now who is your party's candidate. Who do we have confidence in?
Right.
Have we examined his competence? Have we examined his character?
Well, I'm going to come to why you've chosen Peter OBI in a minute, but it sounds like you've created an us and them situation within your party, the PDP. Do you mean us and them as in PDP members on your side who support Peter OBI and PDP members on the other side who support Atiku Abubakar?
I would like to respond to that by saying that it is not really an us versus them thing. It is about a Nigerian thing. There are members of the APC, high-ranking members in the APC, who support Peter OBI, who we know have come out to say, yes, although we are members of the APC, but we do not have confidence in Bola Tinubu. We've seen very high-ranking members do that. And that is because we're seeing that, Charles, for the very first time in our nation's history. It has never happened. Where we see politicians come out openly to endorse candidates of a different political party. That tells the world that 2023 is not a joke. We are not continuing politics as usual, because at the point where we are in dire straits as a nation. We're in a strait betwixt two. 2023 is going to determine if we're going to live our lives, or if we're going to lose our lives. So it's not about politics right now.
But let's just to be clear on that, your PDP for Peter OBI support group. Who are the people who are members? I mean, which bits of the PDP do they occupy? Are they across the board or sort of in a particular range?
Oh no, they're across the board. These are ordinary members of the party. These are members who are holding ESCO positions in the party. These are some members who are in the National Working Committee of the party. These are some members who are in the BOT of the party. These are some members who are serving deputy governors. So this cuts across the entire structure of the party across the nation.
Yeah, but is there a regional slant to that? Or
Regional?
Is there an ethnic slant?
Not at all. It cuts across the entire nation. We have friends in the north, we have friends in the south, friends in this case, members of the PDP who are in support of Peter OBI. And I can tell you, majority of us on social media who campaigned heavily for PDP in 2019 are obedient today. Not because we hate Atiku. We went all out for him before. But we're seeing it now that we never expected that we're going to be thrown into the ditch we're in right now by the APC government. I mean, they've been a catastrophic failure. Everybody knows that. So what we're saying now is that how can we save our lives from this mess we're in? Putting aside, throwing away the foolishness of political loyalty, because that's what I call it, foolishness. Because when it comes to partisanship, those at the top do not care about loyalty, but they make those at the bottom of the poll care about loyalty. We see them swing from place to place as they wish, and they don't talk about loyalty. So now we are loyal to our conscience, we are loyal to ourselves, we are loyal to our country, we are loyal to our children.
So remind us why you've chosen Peter OBI in preference to the flag bearer of your party, the PDP.
Well, thanks you for that question, Charles, and it's a brilliant one. I hope I'll have some time to explain.
Sure.
The quality of our lives as a people depends on the quality of the society where we live in. And the quality of the society we live in depends on the quality of leaders that we have. A nation cannot progress beyond the capacity of our leaders. And the people cannot progress beyond the opportunities available in that society. And that is why Nigeria has remained at the bottom of the totem pole. We have continuously bit below our political weight, bit below our social weight, bit below our economic weight, bit below our cultural weight, bit below our moral weight. The world is laughing at us today. Everybody is making mockery of us because we have made merchandise of ourselves. We have been unable to select from amongst ourselves leaders who have the vision, the goal, and the plan for the people. And that is why we have gotten to a point now where we're saying, it's a do or die for us now. We either get a leader who understands and demonstrates that leader is a privilege and it is given in trust by the people, that you may deploy their resources to their benefits. It is not, something you snatch or you grab. Power belongs to the people. So we are demonstrating, or we are seeing a demonstration from Peter OBI that we can vouch for his competence. We can vouch for his character. We can vouch for his commitment. We study his lifestyle. We see that a man who doesn't waste his money will not waste our money. We've seen how he governed in Anambra State. We see how he was focused on the lives of the people. We saw an increase in the gross happiness index of the Anambra people. And we're saying, come on, what do we really want for ourselves? What do we want for our children? Do we want a Nigeria we can be proud of, where the world is not going to laugh at us everywhere we go to? And we saw a man who, has been in government. He has excelled in government. He has excelled in his private life as a businessman. And this is a man who is telling us that, listen, do not vote for me because of where I'm from. Do not vote for me because of the faith I profess. Vote for me because you trust me. Charles, we have never had such a leader vie for office in Nigeria before. And that is why you can see Nigerians generally were pulling in one direction. There is a unanimity of purpose across the nation for Peter OBI. And, I would like Nigerians to understand that 2023 is not a joke. It is not going to be business as usual. We are fighting for the survival of our lives. We're not going to elect leaders that the world will laugh at when they appear at the United Nations General Assembly. We're not going to elect leaders that they will laugh at when they appear at the AU Summit. We're looking for leaders who are going to be stakeholders in our future. And to be honest with you, I cannot for the life of me tell any reasonable adult that Bola Ahmed Tinubu is one of such leaders, or that Atiku Abubakar just now is one of such leaders. Are we going to talk about a man who people alleged to have sustained the pilfering and pillage of state resources in Lagos State? Are we going to talk about a man who feels that he's too big to talk to the Nigerian people? Are we going to elect a man who has continuously bastardized democracy in Lagos State, whose only claim to fame is greed? Are we going to elect a man who many of us see as an Olympic presidential candidate, who shows up every 4 years from Dubai and he wants to lead? It's okay to want to lead, but for what purpose?
Right. Okay, but let me ask you this. I mean, in spite of what you said, and I have to say that your comments were very inspiring, certainly. But the PDP is, of course, fielding Atiku Abubakar as its candidate in 2023. No doubt about that, with or without you. And you are, as you have professed, supporting Peter OBI of the Labour Party. Does that make the unity of the PDP going into 23 almost impossibly difficult?
Well, as much as I love the PDP, I'm hoping that going into 2023 becomes even more difficult, because I intend to have a Peter OBI as president. So to be honest with you, I do not even care about what happens in the PDP or what happens in the APC. Even as I remain a member, maybe post-2023, maybe we will come again, and because now we're electing sound minds into the Senate, into the House of Reps. And I tell you a shocker. In Edo State, for example, where I come from, candidates of the APC or the PDP, they do not have the boldness to campaign for Bola Tinubu or Atiku in Edo State, because the people are obedient. So we tell them that, listen, when you go on the podium, preach your own political pronunciamentos. Tell us what you intend to do. Do not talk about an Atiku for us. Do not talk about the
but obviously they have the rights to support
they have the right to, but
you can't oppress them.
No, we're not oppressing them.
Okay.
We are telling them because the people have the power. And we're telling them, if you go against what our wish is, you're going to lose your election.
It's going to cost you the election.
And they have no choice but to listen
not that
to
there's
the
any
people.
threat against them.
There are no threats, but they have to listen to those who they intend to lead.
Right. And for you, of course, there's a dose of reality that tells you to not only do someone different in the presidential election, but to organize what some would see as a rebel group within the PDP. Some would say a group of traitors to essentially undermine the party and support someone else.
Well, I appreciate whatever adjective anyone wants to use. I couldn't really be bothered about it. I'm considered about the progress of Nigeria. I'm considered about the people in my generation. Charles, I studied production engineering. 80% of those I studied with well over a decade ago are out of Nigeria today. They have left with their families with no intention of coming back. One would expect that every man wants to go back home because home is home. But there's no home to a lot of Nigerians today. So I couldn't be bothered about what anybody thinks about it. I'm fighting for myself, fighting for my future, fighting for my children. I'm fighting for their future. So if anyone thinks I'm a traitor, that's your business.
But to be entirely fair,
yes.
I mean, if I was a member of the PDP, and I'm not a member of any party, but if I was a member of the PDP, I would see you right now as toxic for the party. Do you think that by now they've digested what is happening and your days as a member of the PDP are numbered?
Well, Charles, I intend to increase my toxicity as long as it is for the overall good of the Nigerian people. That is what it is. And to be very fair, I think I'm an asset to the PDP. They love me and they understand me. And I can tell you for a fact, a lot of the leaders of the PDP share my views too. So when you talk about would they see you as traitors, they see me as somebody who's speaking their voice, even in the APC. They see me as somebody who he's saying what we cannot say because we benefit from the political structure. He doesn't, so he has the boldness to express those views, and we're in line with those views he's expressing.
And they're happy for you to convince them and to convince other Nigerians that they should support someone else but remain members of the PDP.
Well, some of my friends have left the PDP to join the Labour Party, and that's exclusively their own preserve. I don't intend to, and I don't foresee anybody pushing me out of the PDP, because many of us have played great roles in the PDP. We still do, even till today. We have campaigns going on in Edo State. Sadly, the PDP in Edo is having our own crisis, but notwithstanding, we would excel. But that is just on one side of it. They know that Obaide has an independent mind. And when it comes to what he has a strong belief in, he fights it to the end, and that's exactly what I'm doing. And I'm urging other Nigerians, many who are members of political parties, to join us in pulling in one direction. For the first time, young Nigerians are waking up. For the first time, we are exorcising the ghost of division. We are exorcising the ghost of negative ethnicity. We are exorcising the ghost of needless religious bias. We are immunizing ourselves and consecrating ourselves against the diabolical machinations of our oppressors.
But while you are lauding Peter OBI, you are aware that as you foster and deepen the crisis in the PDP, the Labour Party is also mired in its own constitutional crisis over a variety of things. List of candidates, continued membership of some core people in his presidential campaign council, allegations of forgeries, fraud, etc. Does that concern you at all, to the extent that the Labour Party is looking increasingly disorganized, and you could be going from the PDP's fire into from the frying pan of the PDP into the fire of the Labour Party?
I don't think the Labour Party is as disorganized as the APC or the PDP. I think they're having their own fair share of internal glitch, being not really a new party, but a new party rising to the position they are rising to. So it is allowed for them to have little issues here and there. But you see, the difference is this. The Labour Party is not a congregation of politicians, as of today. It's an assemblage of Nigerians who are tired of the status quo. Because if Tinubu wins the election, APC wins. If Atiku wins the election, PDP wins. But if Peter OBI wins the election, Nigerians win. That's what is driving us crazy.
Right. So we've got a couple of minutes left on the program. Really fascinating as always talking with you. But how do you think all this is going to carry through to 2023? I mean, beyond Atiku, we've also seen the shenanigans of Bola Ahmed Tinubu that you were talking about, of his team getting very prickly about any criticism of their candidate. Do you think the star of the older contestants is dimming, and that 2023 will likely be a repudiation of that star?
Exactly what it's going to be. And I was so excited after the Chatham House show of Bola Tinubu. And to be fair to him, to be really fair to him, that was the most disgraceful outing of any presidential candidate since the return of democracy in 1999. It was beyond my imagination. How on earth could a man go for an interview and you have strange members of your team, many who have no experience in the questions asked, and his supporters gleefully cheered him on? And I was wondering, are we children of a lesser God? What offense have we committed as Nigerians that we keep electing the weakest amongst us to lead us? That is why we have made no progress. And I was amused to see the level of discourse some were having. Some intellectuals trying to argue, oh, that was his team, that was his style. Are you kidding me? In the today of our lives, where we have people, want to express their views because they're seeking for political office, and so they're submitting themselves. They are subjecting themselves to interrogations from their people. But we have people telling us they are too big to talk to the Nigerian people. We are going to show them on election day who has the power.
Okay. Well, on that note, I want to thank you very much indeed for taking the time to come in to talk to us. And Obaide Ifaluyi Isebo is the coordinator of the PDP for Peter OBI Group. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, sir, for having me.